Trump wants to take it a step further and cut down the supply chain by way of Beijing into Mexico. So he'd do it 5X in Trump's language there. I think what that leads us to, Carl, is the significance of the 15 electoral votes in Michigan. If you know that Trump lost by 3 points in 2020, came really close in 2016 against Hillary Clinton. All right, so the attention of this entire campaign on both sides is focused on the Wolverine state.
Well, Trump won Michigan in 2016. So, yeah, look, I think this is the smart part of what he does when he comes out, which is he started today with an issue that the American people care about, which is China. And he basically said, you're okay, fine, you're putting them on, but you're following me, you're a day late and a dollar short, and I got more. Which is useful because I think the key for him is to lay out a second-term agenda, and for him saying, I'm going to have tougher penalties on China, and I'm worried about them sending things into America via Mexico, and so I'm going to take care of that problem. If I had a criticism to make, I would have dialed that up a lot more and dialed down the experts. Let the others, let Speaker Johnson, let Congressman Byron Donalds, let Governor Burgum quote the many experts saying this is a BS deal. You focus on being the next president of the United States. Today was far more spent on his personal aggrievement about not being able to do all of this stuff and being in court. But being able to lay out an agenda for the second term is what people want to hear from him, that are open to voting for him.
You know what I think he should talk about, Kevin, like Mr. Speaker Kevin, is that last week there were these articles, obviously planted by the Biden team, about how they are working very hard to entrench any sort of Biden policy that didn't have to go through Congress, entrench that into the system so that even if Biden loses, Trump would be saddled with Biden policies. If I were the Trump team, I would be out there maybe having one of these days say, by the way, guess what's happening right now? They're trying to do this. Don't let that happen if I'm president. You know, like figuring out a way, again, to what Carl's saying, to focus a little bit more on what would the next 4 years look like if Biden wins or if I win.
This is exactly why the Biden administration is doing what they can to Trump. They want to keep him off the airwaves. But what little part he has now spoken more on policies than President Biden has. And if you go back, do the contrast. When Donald Trump was president and he put these tariffs in against China, Biden criticized him for it. And what is Biden doing today? He's flipping because Trump wins the policy issue. Everybody sits back and says they love the contrast, the policies when President Trump was in office. But look, we can second guess all we want.
Think about his decision on Israel, Kevin. Well, think about that. Think about the vote that he watched in Michigan during that primary, stacked against him again. Now you've got the Arab American population and the state we're talking about here, in addition to those who work in the auto industry. Yeah. You're 0 for 2.
Yeah, but also think of this. What you're going to find is if you think 1968 Democratic Convention was crazy, wait till this year. They'll start talking about maybe we need to go back to do it virtually. And they'll try to get away from this.
Wouldn't that be something?
You watch what they're going to do. Everything they're doing, they're trying to go back to the last campaign where Biden doesn't have to campaign, where he doesn't have to talk about the issues. Here is President Trump. No other human can withstand what they have thrown at him. And he's taking all this in, and he walks out in a gag order. Who else gets a gag order that can't talk about being persecuted of what he's going through, but does take the moment to talk about the policies? So it's not a hard decision to think, who do you want to be president? Who can sustain it? Today is Israel's National Independence Day. Is President Biden going out there doing anything? No, he's gone directly against everything we've ever stood. The moment Israel became a nation, within 11 minutes, the first nation to recognize it was America. And now he's backtracking, picking a terrorist organization, Hamas, over because he thinks that's good politics because he's watching what's happening on the college campus.
Interesting points. Stand by, guys, okay? Kevin and Carl, all right?